What's up? It's Guru Jojo, and in this video, I'm basically going to be giving a brief explanation to understand the basics in astrology, especially as it relates to your um, tarot readings and stuff. Mine in particular, and many other tarot readers, I'm sure, use the sun sign, the moon sign, or the rising sign as the template for people's information that they be receiving from the tarot, pretty much. So, your sun sign, okay, in astrology, I'll probably put up a chart. Your sun sign in astrology, that's the sign that most people talk about. It's the sign that we usually say that we are, right? So, I was born on March 12th. So, I would say that I'm a Pisces. That would be my sun sign. The sun is very much connected to our father. Okay, so the location of the sun in the natal chart will describe pretty much the energy of the father, okay, or the father figure, or any masculine authority figures in your life, pretty much. And then the sun sign also helps to describe pretty much the way that you show yourself to the world, and as a result, the reflection of other people's entertainment towards you, performance towards you, and what they show you. So, because I'm a Pisces sun, right, I generally perceive other people as almost in an imaginative way. And at the same time, it seems like for me, like other people kind of act like Pisces. Now, that goes that's a result of other circumstances in my natal chart as well as to why I may perceive things in that manner. But in general, your sun sign is going to show pretty much the area of life in which you're the brightest in, or where you tend to be very bright in this area. So if let's say you're a Cancer sun, you're going to be bright in the area of the home environment, of nurturance. This is where you're going to receive your most attention and recognition for. This is going to be the energy that you tend to act out. Okay? Now, if you have, so I'm not really going to go over all the sun signs like that because it's very easy to find online. But I'm going to jump now into your moon sign. Okay? Your moon sign you would receive from also your date of birth, but a lot of the time you're going to need your time of birth also for the moon and your location. Why? Because if you have your moon at a cusp, if it's on a day that it's on a cusp, then the time is going to be necessary to see if you are at the end of a zodiac sign or the beginning of a zodiac sign. For example, the day that I was born, the moon was at the end of Gemini. So this makes it so that I have a likelihood of being a Gemini moon or a Cancer moon. Now, being my birth time and my location, my moon is actually in Cancer. If I didn't have my birth time and my location, and I just type in my date of birth and the date, it just tells me it just says that I'm a Gemini moon, and I'm not. I'm a Cancer moon, even though I have a lot of Gemini moon qualities because I'm on the cusp. So keep that in mind with your moon sign. Now, with your rising sign, which I believe a lot of times the tarot readings are very, very connected to the rising sign. It's very connected to all three. For me personally, I connect more with my rising sign in the tarot readings and my moon sign, but also my sun sign too. So that's why I always say sun, moon, or rising, because they really do, all three of them usually really do resonate a lot. Your rising sign really describes, though, your actual experiences in your life. So that's why tarot readings could often be a little bit more connected to your rising sign. Now, the way that you receive your rising sign is you need your birth time, you need the year, you need the date. Oh, I already said that. Oh yeah, you need your date of birth, and then you also need your location. So you need, you need your date of birth, you need your time of birth, and you need your location of birth in order to get your rising sign, because the rising sign, it represents the sign that was rising on the eastern horizon at the time of your birth. Now the moon sign, I forgot to describe, okay? The moon sign pretty much describes your emotional nature. So it describes the way that you generally process emotions and the way that you end up reacting emotionally. So how you filter your emotions. So I'm gonna just go over it real fast. If you have your moon in a water sign, this means that you most likely express your emotions and feelings through nurturing others, nurturing yourself, and usually this is going to be some sort of indulging in the actual emotions and feelings. And also reacting more passively and holding on to emotions. Where if you have your moon sign in a fire sign, you probably have a tendency to be more assertive. You probably have the tendency to be more direct. You probably have a tendency to actually act out how you feel and show others how you feel more directly. If you have your moon sign in, let's say, an air sign or something like that, then you're going to express your emotions and feelings through communication, through thinking, through things that are logical and rational. If you have your moon sign in the area of an earth, like if you have an earth moon sign, then this means you're going to be more practical about your emotions and feelings. You may use your emotional responses in order to actually be more responsible and gain more security and practicality in your life. Okay, so these are the differences in the way that it plays out. Now, your rising sign, okay, this determines what you become over time. So it determines your development and the way that you end up being more prosperous in this life, because it's rising, it's ascending. So it's the way that you grow up, the way that you ascend. So it's also very connected to the way you look. It describes your physical appearance quite well. Your rising sign is also the same thing as your ascendant sign. These could be used interchangeably. So that's pretty much how that works. That's the basics of astrology. Now, what you want to do is when you get a natal chart, so I'm going to use my natal chart for example, okay? The rising sign or the ascendant sign, it's always going to be symbolized by that ASC, okay? That's on the left-hand corner of the chart on the first quadrant. So it's in that first quadrant. Depending on the degree of your rising sign is going to be where you're going to see that ASC, which stands for ascendant, on that left-hand corner. That's your rising sign. That first quadrant is literally like your physical body. And then the rulership of your rising sign and its location helps you to further understand the way that you play out these ascension type of characteristics, the way that you play out your physical persona pretty much. And your rising sign is also very much connected to your spontaneous reactions as well. So, okay, basically, if you have a Gemini rising or a Virgo rising, okay, then your ruler is Mercury. So you would look for the location of Mercury in your chart. For example, myself, I'm a Virgo rising. So I look for where Mercury is located. Mercury's in my 7th house in the zodiac sign of Aries, which would indicate that as a Virgo rising, Virgo represents basically work, service, and analyzing things for the most part, and breaking down details and things of that nature. So that would mean that my energy is focused on critiquing and analyzing what? The 7th house, because that's where it's located. Other people, right? Relationships and other people. And also things that have to do with balance and whatnot. So this would be even like critiquing the details of particular people, and you know what I'm saying? And then this would be done at a particularly fast rate because Mercury in Aries makes things quick. These are your quick thinkers and whatnot. Even though I do have an aspect, in another video I'll speak about aspects, but I have an aspect that actually would slow things down a little bit. But in terms of the thought processing, is quite quick. The physical actions might be slower. So anyways, that's the way you would determine it. So if you're a Gemini or Virgo rising, like I was saying, you want to look for where your Mercury sign is located. Okay. If you are a Taurus or a Libra rising, you want to look for where Venus is located. If you are a Scorpio or a Aries rising, you want to look for where Mars is located. And then for Scorpio, you additionally want to look for where Pluto is located in the chart. If you are a Sagittarius or a Pisces rising, you want to look for where Jupiter is located at in the chart. In addition to that, if you are a Pisces rising, you want to look for where Neptune is also located in the chart. Okay. If you are a Capricorn or Aquarius rising, you want to look for where Uranus is located at in the chart. My bad. You want to look for where Saturn is located in the chart. And then additionally for Aquarius, you want to look for where Uranus is located at in the chart. Okay. And then, did I miss anything? Cancer. If you're a Cancer rising, you want to look for where the moon is located at in the chart. If you're a Leo rising, you want to look for where the sun is located at in the chart. If you are I did Scorpio, I did Sag, I did Cap, Aquarius, and Pisces. All right. So I'm going to make other videos on things like the more personal planets too. So the other personal planets. So that's going to be Mercury, Venus, and Mars that I'm going to be going over in a separate video. And in another separate video, I'll go over the social planets. And this is going to be Jupiter and Saturn. Another video, I'm going to be going over the outer planets. And this is going to be Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. Okay, so look out for that. I'm also taking astrological and tarot consultations. Okay, I'm going to post my website in the description. It's artlist.xyz/consultations. Okay, and pretty much you can book an appointment. Okay, the type of appointments that I do is Skype and Google Hangouts appointments. Okay, and they will be scheduled. These appointments are available pretty much for 30 minutes, or you could do an hour, where I think I have 45 minutes listed. Check the website for that. And then I also have in-person consultations. Okay, in-person consultations will be done pretty much. I would reserve a room at the library or something like that, or at Barnes and Nobles or something, and we would go and we would have consultations there in person. And these consultations could be done with tarot in astrology, or just your choice of astrology, natal chart interpretation, or just your choice of tarot. It's up to you. So you could schedule an appointment with me. Website's in the description below. And hopefully this video was helpful towards the the free readings that I'll be giving out on a broad scale for the astrological signs. And blessings, light, and love.